everyone, Sprawls here and welcome to my channel. Recently I was rummaging through my parents' attic and I came across some books. The books I came across was the entire series of the Chronicles of Narnia, which includes the original classic, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. These books are by author C.S. Lewis and are apparently a literary classic, and they've been turned into other stuff such as a movie or three. I have seen the movies, they were alright. I would have quite liked to have seen the rest of the series as movies as well, but it never happened. But I heard it might happen on Netflix. Back to the books. So I've never read the books, and there are 7 of them in total, and I discovered their reading order is different to the original publication order. So the original Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, first to be originally published, but is second in the reading order. Whilst the first book in reading order, The Magician's Nephew, was one of the last to be published, but is the first in the reading order. Anyways, 7 out of the 7 books, 6 of the ones I have are numbered 1 to 6 in their reading order. And unfortunately the 7th one isn't here, but I do have it in a different cover type. And these first 6 books are number 1, The Magician's Nephew, which I will review on this video, followed by The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, then The Horse and His Boy, then Prince Caspian, then Voyage of the Dawn Treader, then Silver Chair, and finally, in its different cover, The Last Battle. I will read all of these and review them in turn. It's worth noting that these first books were published, actually they were all published back in the 50s, but these ones numbered 1 to 6 were printed in 1980, and look at the price, 85p. Books these days are almost a tenner. And then this one, The Last Battle, was printed all the way back in 1972, and look at that price, 20p. Books have come a long way in cost since then. Wow. So anyway, Narnia is a very fanciful land, a land of magic and weird creatures, and is meant to be a lovely place to live, except it always seems to be overtaken by invaders, as in the movies that I've seen. But before I get too far ahead of myself with the movies, I need to read the books. And at this stage I have read book number 1, The Magician's Nephew. It's quite a short book, didn't take long to read, just a couple of days, pretty much on a train journey really. I read half the book on a train journey going there, and the other half the book on a train journey coming back. So, in summary of the plot, the 2 kids here, can't remember their names, they stumbled upon some magic rings by their uncle. Well, their uncle is crazy uncle with very frizzy hair, gives them a couple of magic rings to go to another world. And typically adventures pursue, things go wrong, and the 2 kids plus their uncle stumbled upon a world with the White Witch, who crops up as the main villain in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and then with a couple more humans and a horse, they stumbled into a void world at the same time that Aslan, the great big lion, turns up to turn it into Narnia. So he creates Narnia from nothing, in a nutshell. And then you see the early days of Narnia with Aslan, who's pretty much a magical lion being, god type being. So he's created Narnia, and he creates talking animals as well. And he makes a couple of humans to be the first king and queen of Narnia. And at the same time, the White Witch, who's come from this other land, sets up residence in Narnia, and intends to have some evil plans. So that is the beginning of Narnia. So it's very, very much an introduction. If you read it on its own, you're like, well, what happens next? And it's the other books. So you kind of need to read this really as the first. To appreciate it more, I think you need to read the books that come after. But I don't think it all neatly ties up to The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which I saw is a movie, and I'll be reading next. But I guess it gives you some of the origins of Narnia. But what about the other countries that are in the world? I don't know if Aslan created the whole world here, or just Narnia. Because I know from seeing the movies that you get Narnia as a country, and then there are other countries in that world as well. Did Aslan create those things at the same time? It doesn't say. And also, for White Witches there in Narnia, Aslan knows she's evil and is going to cause trouble later on. She kind of delays the trouble she can cause, but he knows she'll be back later to cause trouble. Why did he not get rid of the White Witch in this book? Because he battles her in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. No, she's the villain in that movie, but in this book he clearly has the power to get rid of her. I don't know why he doesn't. And he makes illusions or, well, not quite sure what the right word now is, but he references having people from our world turn up in Narnia in the future to help deal with the White Witch. Because the kids in this book were very complicit in the White Witch getting to Narnia. So Aslan is like, well, you helped her get here, your kind will help deal with her later on. But Aslan could have dealt with her there and then. Why did he not? It just made me thought, Aslan, bit of a rubbish character. He creates this wonderful world and then allows an evil being to remain there as well, knowing it's going to cause problems later on. When he had the capacity to get rid of her in this book, that grated on me. But other than that, it's an enjoyable book. I recommend giving it a read, and I now look forward to reading the rest of the books. And if you're like me, after you've read this, you'll want to read the rest of the series as well. Because I have plenty of time to read them all. And it actually did not take me long at all to read this. And as it didn't take me long, I recommend it even more. So that is the end of my review of The Magician's Nephew. The title itself is a little misleading. Well, whilst the magician being the old crazy uncle, the nephew is sort of the lead character in the book, which is that kid there, whatever his name is. Yeah, the characters were pretty forgettable besides Aslan. There's nothing too remarkable about them. But yeah, for Magician's Nephew, I would have renamed it The Beginnings of Narnia. But an enjoyable read nonetheless, and again I recommend it. I'll be back soon to review the remaining books in the series once I've read them, and I'm sure I'll enjoy them just as much as this one. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Please like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll be back for the next book, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, very soon. I would also like to see this as a movie, because it would be great on the movie to see the creation of Narnia as it's described in this book. A little more to add. Reading style very easy going, not too descriptive. The author is leaving a lot of it to your imagination, which is pretty cool as my mind goes wild with it. But at the same time, the way the origin of Narnia is created, so when Aslan is physically creating Narnia, is very magical. And I would like to see how that translates to a movie. I would very much like to see this as a movie. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you on a new video soon. Bye!